Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Due to unavoidable circumstances, we will be having our asynchronous meeting for this week. So we will be discussing our course syllabus. Allow me to share my screen. Okay, so this will be our syllabus for LEA4 or Law Enforcement Operations and Planning with Crime Mapping. I believe that you are already, yes, you are already third years. So you already know the school vision, mission, and quality policy. So we will be going forward with the course description of our subject. Well, based on the CHED CMO05 series of 2018, our subject, our subject's course description is as follows. So this course shall provide the fundamental concept of planning. So what are the fundamental concept of planning? As a leadership role and other operations of selected law enforcement and public safety agencies and their respective legal mandates. So what are their legal mandates as provided for by our statutory or state laws? Yan. What are their limitations? So the crime mapping, so that's part of our discussion, crime mapping and its relation to police operation. So what is the relation of crime mapping in terms of law enforcement operation, police operation, PDEA operation, BGMP operation, and so on and so forth. This course covers the different law enforcement agencies to include PNP, BGMP, BFP, PDEA, Bucor, DNR, LTO, and so on and so forth. We have lots of law enforcement agencies or any agency that enforces our laws. We have, of course, lots of laws. First is we have the law of the land, the constitutional or the Philippine Constitution. We have the revised penal code, RPC, Book 1 and Book 2. We have special laws to which violation of this is called offense. Violation of your RPC is called a felony. We also have our city and municipal ordinances to which violation of those are called misdemeanor. Yan. So those are all the laws being enforced by our law enforcement agencies. So we will be dealing with their mandates, functions, types of operation. So what are the types of operation of each and every law enforcement agency and the types of plan and crime mapping they have. Okay? So this is how we are going to do our discussion for the whole semester. So we have here the intended learning outcome or the ILO. The course contents the teaching, learning activities, and assessment tasks or on how to assess your learnings. So our intended learning outcomes include the following. So at the end of this course, the students are expected to understand and instill the LSPU vision, mission, quality policy, and college goals and objectives. So alam nyo na dapat yan, umabot kayo sa third year. We have to discuss the brief overview of the course, which we have just, or we are just doing, we are presently doing. So we have to enumerate and explain the principles of planning, its elements. We have to discuss the different, or we have to discuss and differentiate the types of plans and classifications of plans according to, of course, its purpose. We have to explain approaches in planning. What are the approaches in planning? We also have to discuss the concept and operational planning. We have to identify the considerations in police planning and factors affecting police planning. We have to identify and explain the parts of police operational plan and kinds of police plans. So just like in your technical report writing, di ba? Technical report writing has its parts. Same is true with your police operational plans. We also have to identify and discuss the different PNP master plans. Well, these master plans are under the intermediate plan category of police plan. So our course contents are as follows. Our course overview, your syllabus. So under module 1, we have the law enforcement planning. We have the definition of terms. We have definition of plan, planning, law enforcement, police plans. We have introduction to planning, principles of planning, elements of planning, types of plans, classification of plans, and approaches in planning. So those will be our subject discussion for for later after this syllabus. So what are our learning or teaching learning activities? We will be using virtual lecture and discussion. And for our asynchronous, we will be doing recorded video. So you will be watching recorded video, just like this one. So at the end of every discussion, expect an activity. So you may be having graded recitation. Every recitation will be given appropriate points. We may also have post discussion. You may be required to do or to undergo quizzes, assignment, homework, and your quizzes may also include identification, most often than not, essay. So, yan po yung mga assessment task natin. So, those will be our assessment task. Make sure to follow instruction. If I told you to watch a link, watch it because that will be covered by, or that will be the scope of your future activities, quizzes, especially exams. So we will be discussing also law enforcement plans. Most often than not, our law enforcement agencies have the same pattern of plans. So wala masyado nang pinagkaiba yan, pare-pareho lang yan. We have here police operational planning. Consideration in police planning, factors affecting police planning. So what are the factors that may affect police plans? We have lots of factors. We have resources, problem. We have problem on the possible implementation or the implementers, the persons to implement the plan, and so on and so forth. We also have to discuss or to discuss parts of a police operational plan. So still our medium will be virtual discussion and recorded video. So you will be learning about kinds of police plans and also the PNP master plan. Next is the discussion and performance of steps in police operational plan. So this is one of your possible activity. I will be requiring you later on to draft a police operational plan after you have learned the steps in police planning and operations. So if you have observed, most of your prelim to midterm covers plan, law enforcement plan. Now after your midterms, we will be dealing with law enforcement operations, police or PNP operations, BFP operations, Philippine Coast Guard operations, operations of other law enforcement unit such as the LTO, BJMP, PIDEA, DNR, and so on and so forth. So we will be dealing also with the constitutional and statutory rights of persons affected or subjected to law enforcement operations. Of course, we know for a fact that we have in every police operation, the police officers or the law enforcers should observe the first, the constitutional rights of the persons arrested. They also have their Miranda rights. They have their statutory rights. What specific right? The rights of persons under custodial investigation, diba? To which violation of those law would result to the possible technicality in the case. Yan. So if the police violated those law, it may lead to the technicality of the case and may later on result to the dismissal of the case, possible dismissal of the case, and possible acquittal of the accused, or the worst here that could happen is the counter charge to be filed by the accused against the law enforcers, the operating troops. Yan. So yun yung pinaka worst. Pwede silang ma-counter charge. That's why in every police operation, the rights of persons arrested from being a suspect to being apprehended and to being detained. Yan. So we have to observe the rights. So for the remaining discussion, we will be dealing with crime mapping. So we will be discussing crime mapping, the historical development of crime mapping, the theories behind crime and crime mapping, the place and environmental design, types of crime mapping and crime analysis, and crime incident or crime incident situationer and geographic information of crimes. We know for a fact that plans are necessary in all types of operations. Okay? And in most police operational plans, most of our police operational plans needs maps. Okay? We need maps in every police operations. To which without that plan, operation could lead to failure. Imbis na yung law enforcers ang makascore, dahil nga sa walang mapa, walang accurate na location ng suspect. Kung may hostage sila, walang accurate na position kung asan kayo mga hostage. Walang accurate na position kung asan ba yung mga dapat na i-rescue. Walang accurate na position kung saan ba advantageous na pumwesto ang law enforcers. Di ba? So that's how important maps are. Especially so that we are dealing with crime. Especially so that the objective of the Philippine National Police is to prevent and control crimes or crime prevention and crime solution for those crimes that were not prevented, di ba? So how do we prevent crimes? Most often than not, these are due to police patrol operations. We can prevent crimes through patrol operations except for crimes, for private crimes. So, yun lang po yung mga types ng krimen na hindi ma-prevent ng patrol. Ano ba yung mga private crimes? Adultery, rape, mukhang hindi natin yun ma-prevent kasi most of those types of crime happen in a private area. Hindi pwedeng pasukin ng pulis yun. Otherwise, they may be held liable for trespass to dwelling. Yan. Di ba? And, yan. Now, to those crimes that were not able to be prevented, yan, yung mga hindi kayang i-prevent ng mga law enforcement agencies, at least the PNP should be able to solve it. Yan. When we say solve it, they should be able to identify the guilty party, file the appropriate charges, and apprehend them later on, and prove the guilt of the perpetrators in court during trial. Okay, so those will be the scope of our subject. We have here our references. First on the list is the book of Police Corporal Thomas Tainan and Police Colonel about to become Brigadier General Lopez. The subject are the title is Law Enforcement Operations and Planning with Crime Mapping, published by Wiseman. So I have here a copy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the book we are using at the University of the Cordilleras. If you'd like to order, you will be using this in this subject. If you'd like to order, you can have it 450 free of delivery charge. But if you are about to have it ordered through Shopee or Lazada, sayang naman yung karagdagang babayaran nyo sa shipping fee. And now, if you'd like to order, kindly contact your or inform your class representatives, and your class representatives will be the one to inform me kung ilan ang order kung sakaling may gusto. Maganda to. This is aligned with the CHED CMO 2018 and PRC TOS, Revitalized TOS, in preparation for your board exam later on, after your graduation. So, gagamitin nyo sa course, gagamitin nyo rin sa review nyo later on for the board exam. Ngayon, pagpasa nyo sa board exam, don't worry kasi this will not go to waste. Pwede nyo pa itong ipamana sa mga kapatid nyo, pinsan nyo, o kahit mga pulis na gusto magkaroon ng kopya nito. Pwede nyo ipamigay sa kanila. At least hindi na sayang. Yan. Very updated po yung laman itong book na to. It is 2023. Yan. Published on 2023. Ngayon lang. Kaso na. Yan. Okay. And the other references. Yan. So, in the interest of time, basahin nyo na lang yan. This syllabus will be sent to you, to your class representatives. or it may be uploaded later on to our Google Classroom. Wala pa tayong na bubuong Google Classroom pala. Chinek ko kanina. So this is one of the most important part of our class. So your class standing, the grading system. Okay? So the grading system. Take note, ladies and gentlemen, that your midterm grade is composed of 50% class standing. So this composed of your quizzes, your assignment, recitation. Hindi. Recitation is under class participation. So class standing is composed of your mostly quizzes and assignment, plus 20% of your class participation. So your class participation includes recitation. Yan, recitation, active participation, plus 20% the result of your midterm exam. Okay? So 40% plus 20% plus 40% equals 100. So that becomes your, whatever comes up, it becomes your midterm grade. How about the computation for your tentative final grade? So same is true with your midterm grade. The computation is as follows. 40%, just the same, will be coming from your assignment and quizzes, plus 20% coming from your class participation, recitation, and plus 40% coming from the result of your final exam. So whatever will pop out, that will be your tentative final grade. Now, how do you have now your final grade? So your final grade, ladies and gentlemen, will be 50% of your midterms plus 50% of your tentative final grade. So whatever comes up, it will now be your final grade, which will later on be uploaded to your portal. So take note, ladies and gentlemen, that that's how your grade is computed. So we have here our house rules or our course policies we have to comply with. Otherwise you will be facing sanctions if you have violated some of these policies. Excuse me. Yan. So let me read them. As a criminology student, nurture the tradition of discipline and respect at any time and place, especially when the eyes of the public are the witnesses to your acts. Okay, so we are future law enforcers. So we have to live by example. Okay, you must observe proper haircuts. So, medyo kailangan ko na rin magpagupit. And grooming and appropriate attire before joining the online discussion or interactions. You must not use vulgar words. So alam niyo na yung mga vulgar words or any inappropriate manners that might distract the attention of the instructor or professor or any member of the class. Because take note, ladies and gentlemen, that if a member of the class is distracted, it might as well distract the instructor. You should refrain from allowing other people, not a member of the class, to distract or pop in the screen, especially during interruptions. Okay? And in addition, ladies and gentlemen, you are not allowed to forward our link to other students, not a member of this class. Okay? And in attending online classes, you have to make sure that you have no other background people roaming around you. Baka mamaya, doon nyo itinapat yung camera sa labasan ng CR, ah. Baka may lumabas na bagong ligo. That's no-no. Piliin nyo kung saan nyo ilalagay at itututok yung camera nyo for online classes. You should be responsible enough to comply and submit all requirements in your subject. This is true, ladies and gentlemen. Especially so in subjects wherein you have only few activities. Pagkakakunti lang yung activity nyo, na-miss nyo pa yung isa, that one activity may result to your failure. Siyempre, class standing yun. Kung wala na kayong ibang source ng class standing, kahit na kamo mataas yung exam mo, yung exam 40% lang, wala kang class standing, tapos wala ka pang recitation, do you think 40% is enough to make you pass the subject? Siyempre, kulang. Di ba? Take note that the passing grade is 75. Yan, so 75. Meaning, in every 100 items quizzes, you should target to have 75. In every 10 points item of quizzes, you should have at least a score of 7, 8, 9, 10. Yan, for you to pass this subject. Aha. And in relation to your grading system, class, pabalik na ako dito. There's no such thing as, okay lang na mag-relax ako sa midterms. Babawi ako sa finals. Walang ganon. Kasi oras na bumagsak ka sa midterms, take note that in your final grade, yan, your final grade is composed 50% of your midterm plus 50% of your final grade. Kung walang madadagdag dito sa midterm grade, 50% lang ang final grade. Ang pasado 75. Pasado ba ang 50 sa 75? Bagsak, ha? Bagsak yun. Kaya dapat midterms pa lang, nagpondo na kayo ng scores nyo, ng points nyo. You have to do your activity sheet assignments yourself. Don't let others do it. And observe the ethics of scholarship. You may discuss your work with each other. For example, during the online study sessions or in a study group off schedule. So, off schedule. You may discuss off schedule. Instead of talking about someone else, chismis dito, chismis doon, why don't you talk about your lessons? You must avoid plagiarism. Yan. So, alam niyo na yung plagiarism, that's copying work of others without acknowledging the authors. And other forms of unlawful acts defined under the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines. So, kung trabaho ni Pedro yan, porque doon ka nagpaprint sa computer shop kung saan nagpaprint si Pedro, nakita mo yung activity niya, wala kang nagawa, ay, manong computer shop owner, palitan mo nga yung pangalan. Lagay mo yung pangalan ko. Ay, nagka-assignment ka na. Bawal yun, ha? Yan. You must avoid if you borrow or use an idea from another source, meaning someone other than yourself, be sure to cite that source or sources. Enclose quoted material in quotation marks or use italics and write the source. So parang thesis lang to, but as much as possible, paraphrase, do not lift. So you may it's better for you to paraphrase instead of copying as is from the book. So you have to acknowledge sources and make bibliography of them at the end of the assignment following the APA or American Psychological Association guidelines. So if in case you are not sure with the APA guidelines, you can consult this website. Website ba to? For the APA format. However, this can be applied only when the activity allows citations of bases or references, but those activities that require comprehension, where answers must be based on the discussion and understandings, borrowing from other ideas are not allowed. Yan. So if your quiz is plainly essay, so you might not, of course, place references there because your answer is directly coming from you. So if you should respect the authority of your instructor, you should respect the authority of your instructor in delivering the program of your subject. If you have personal concern arising from this subject, contact your instructor through a private message and observe respect in your queries or response. Participate actively in each discussion to maximize your learning. Aside from, it will also uh, take part of your recitation. Try hard to follow the course syllabus. Do an advanced reading. Anyways, this course syllabus will be forwarded to you. Just do an advanced reading. Refrain from unnecessary absences. The only validly excused students are those, first, whose immediate family members are critically ill or has just died. Yan. Take note of the word immediate family. So kung umabsent kayo at ang dahilan ng pag-absent nyo ay dahil may malubhang karamdaman ang inyong ama, ina, or anak, kung meron na ba sa inyo may anak? Hopefully, wala pa. Dapat wala pa. Pumasok muna kayo sa serbisyo, magkatrabaho muna bago magkaanak, magpamilya. So, that's your immediate family. Yan ang immediate family. Pero kung ang rason mo dahil absent ka, umabsent kasi ako dahil ganto si tito, ganto si lolo. Marami naman pang other option na hindi kayo masasakripisyo. Hindi masasakripisyo yung school nyo, yung studies nyo, I mean. So, pagka immediate family nyo, at especially pagka nag-iisa lang kayong anak, you are excused. You are that's a valid reason for you to be excused. Or an immediate family member has just died. Yan. So, wag naman sana. Pero, in case lang, yun lang yung mga valid na excuse natin. Number 2, working students, scholars, or athletes who are representing the institution, representing LSPU, or the country, Philippines, in a interdepartmental, provincial, regional, national, or international activities or sport competition. Yan. So, yan na din yung mga may excuse. Pwede lang kayo may excuse sa klase pagka-athlete kayo and nire-represent nyo yung school or yung bansa natin. Saan? Say, sa provincial, regional, national, international activities. So, of course, aside from the excuse letter, you should attach proper documents. So, gaya nung isa kanina, pagka may namatayan ng immediate family member, ano ang attachment? The death certificate of the deceased, di ba? Kaya pagka nagkasakit ang family member, kayo yung nagbantay, immediate family member, kayo yung nagbantay, ano ang kailangan? Pwede rin, any proof showing that your immediate family member is critically ill. Pagka naman dito, nirepresent nyo ang sa pangalawa, pagka nirepresent nyo naman ang school sa international activity or regional provincial, ano ang attachment? The attachment or the excuse letter, if signed by your coach, pwede. Pero kung kayo mismo yung nag-draft ng excuse letter nyo, kailangan kayong may attachment. Yung attachment nyo dapat is possible any proof that will show that you actually participated in that activity. in that sport competition. Kung may video kayo nung laro, edi pwede rin. Pakita nyo sa klase. Yan. Last, yan. Last will be students who were confined or isolated for medical reasons. So, yun lang yung tatlong reasons na pwedeng ma-validly excused from attending our class. Students who were confined. So, kayo mismo yung nagkasakit na confined kayo sa hospital o kaya you underwent check-up, you can be excused provided that you send us your invitation letter, attach the medical or your medical certificate. Next, submit activity sheets on or before their due dates. Okay? So, aanhin mo pa yung assignment mo kung tapos na ang due date. Zero. Sayang lang. Di ba? So, it's always better to, parang intelligence lang, di ba? Aanhin mo pa ang intelligence report kung tapos na yung operasyon. Kahit nakulang yung information na nag-gather nyo in relation to operation, so long as naibato nyo on time, pwede pang makatulong. Compared naman sa tapos na yung operation, sa kanyo babato yung intelligence report nyo na kailangan sana sa operasyon. Useless na. Anhin mo ang kabayo kung walang damo. Ay, anhin mo pa ang damo kung patay na yung kabayo. Ayun, di ba? So, always keep a duplicate copy of your activity sheets in your files just in case you need to resubmit them. There have been instances in my case wherein the students claimed that they had sent me their activity online. Chinek natin, wala tayong na-receive. Nung pina-check sa sent items, biglang wala rin sa sent items niya. Pero mangiiyak-iyak na na-send niya daw. Malamang na-send niya nung wala siyang signal. Kaya, what's your proof na mayroon ka talagang ginawang assignment mo? At least the soft copy will do. Makikita naman natin doon yung metadata niya kung kailan siya nagawa. So, pwede natin i-consider yung mga ganong cases, pero yung score will not as high as those who submitted on time. Pwede lang i-consider for the purpose of not getting zero in that activity. So, always keep duplicates. The students are prohibited from going to computer shops. So, bawal kayo pumunta sa computer shops unless it is allowed by the advisory from the IATF or the government authority. Any forms of cheating in online classes. So, pwede ba tayong mag-cheat sa online classes? Pwede. Yung magsisave kayo ng GIF, tapos yun ang i-flash nyo sa as screensaver na para makikinig kayo, wala pala. That's cheating, ah. You will be marked absent if we are able to detect cases like those. Cheating in online classes, cheating in quizzes, assignments, or exams are prohibited. Cheating includes but are not limited to the following, such as non-obedience to instruction. The mere fact that you have violated an instruction is tantamount already to cheating. Requesting to turn off camera or usage of GIF as background during the online discussion, form of cheating. Saving, sending, or receiving a screenshot picture of the questions, answers are also considered cheating. So you are not allowed to have a screenshot of our online quizzes. The questions therein, you are not allowed to have a screenshot of those. Opening of a separate browser to search for the answer. The usage of the chat GPT in essay. Group answering in quizzes or exams. Those are all forms of cheating, which are supposedly individual dapat. If the activity requires it to be individual, you should comply individual. And having someone to do the homework, assignment, quiz, or exam for the student. So if you have an assignment, you have to do it yourself. Don't pay someone to do it. Otherwise, if we will be able to detect that it's someone who done your assignment for you, then your point for that activity will be zero. Okay? It will be null and void. Always adhere to the protocols that are being implemented by the government. Dapat sana wala tayong mabalitaan na nakasuot pa kayo ng uniforme ng LSPU tapos later on mahuhuli ng pulis. Bakit? Nakipag-inuman, naka-uniforme, nakipagbubugan, nakipagsuntukan pa. Dapat wala tayong mabalitaan na ganyan, ha. Ensure that proper discipline is always being observed. Any concerns, please contact me, your instructor, or you may refer to the Criminology organization, president, or to the college advisor, or to the college dean, Dr. Wangki. It's the students who make their grades. Take note of this. You are the one who are making or who are creating your grade. The output is irrevocable. Hindi yung re-relax kayo finals or midterms or finals. Tapos, di bali sa kanila ako makikiusap sa instructor. Hindi na. Wala nang ganyan. Oras na kung ano yung lumabas. Kung ano yung lumabas sa grade nyo, sa final grade nyo, yun na yun. Huwag nyo nang asahan na ma-adjust pa yun. Okay? Any attempt to bargain is forbidden. Diba? Ano yung bargain? Sir, pwede bang ganito? Wala na. You should have done that during the SEM. Hindi yung tapos na-upload na yung grade. Saka kayo makikipag-usap for project. Wala na. Dapat, during the SEM, kung may balak ka na mag-project, nag-recite ka na, o kaya nag-initiate ka na ng project. So, synchronous section house rules. You should wear your uniform during the scheduled online discussion. You should prepare yourself. Sorry, I have to answer this. Ano ba to? So, where were we? Synchronous section house rules. You should wear your uniform during scheduled online classes. You should prepare yourself and all needed materials before attending online interactions. Materials may be included but is not limited to the following. So what are your materials that are needed, which you have to prepare before the start of our online class? The syllabus, your books, your handouts, your notebook, and pen. You have to take down notes. Okay? So what are the house rules during Zoom or Google Meet discussion? You have to find good location that will avoid any distraction to the lecturer and other viewers. You have to use the logo of LSPU as your virtual background. GIFs are not allowed. You have to mute your microphone when you are not talking. You can unmute your microphone only if you are to recite or raise some question or clarification. Stay focused and be aware of your surroundings. Stay focused, you have to listen carefully. And when we say be aware of your surroundings, baka mamaya kasi sa sobrang focus nyo rin, naging iba na pala yung location nyo, kaya lumilindol na pala. Anhin nyo yung focus nyo kung baka mamaya ma-accident rin kayo, di ba? A victim of natural calamity, earthquake, landslide, sayang. So you have to be aware of your surroundings. So kaya baka mamaya sa sobrang focus mo sa Zoom, you're about to be victimized na pala of crime. So you have to be aware of your surrounding and you have to be alert while focused on our discussion. Any form of you are highly encouraged to stay seated while with your table, to take down notes and remain present throughout the discussion. Any form of video or voice recording of the discussion is prohibited and will be subjected to fines or penalties under the contemplation of RA 10175 or the Data Privacy Act. Thus, consent must be made pertaining on the recording and taking pictures before doing so. Okay? So you are not allowed to record or to capture pictures during our discussion and have it uploaded without the consent of the party. Paano sir yung mga instructor? Nag-upload naman ng video without our consent. Take note, ladies and gentlemen, that they are uploading those video for your own benefit. So you could go over the discussion. Diba? Iba kasi yung student, iba kasi yung purpose ng student compared sa purpose ng teacher on uploading. Yung student, nag-upload ng mga images nag-upload ng mga voices to possibly make fun of someone. That's most of cases, di ba? Nag-upload kayo ng mga siguro gusto niyo pinagtitipan na classmate nyo o kaya instructor nyo. Bawal yan ha. Participants are encouraged to open their video cameras during the whole duration of the discussion but must conform to the house rule number 6. Okay, so you have to stay seated. You have to be seated with your table to take the notes and remain present throughout the discussion. You have to follow instructions that will be given by the host every before the start of classes. Don't ever be late because most of the important instructions are always being mentioned before the start of the discussion proper. So LSPU is committed to creating a safe and inclusive environment for all its students, may it be male, female, or member of the LGBTQ. Gender-based sexual harassment, may it be in the classroom or online, are strictly prohibited. So, meron tayong uh, safe space law, di ba? Bawal mambastos in any place. It includes acts to use information and communication technology to frighten victims through the following. Bawal to. Mga to. Physical, psychological, and emotional threat. You are not allowed to threaten someone, your classmate, or even underclass. Unwanted sexual, misogynistic, transphobic, homophobic, and sexist remarks and comments online, whether on public posts or through private messages, are not allowed. Take note, ladies and gentlemen, that these private messages can serve as an electronic evidence against you. Invasion of the victim's privacy through cyber stalking and incessant messaging. So, alam nyo ba yung procedure dapat kung paano kumontak online? Bago nyo tawagan ng isang tao, you have to send message first. Kasi malamang busy yan. Pagka gusto nyo angatin niya kaagad, kung busy yung mas importante yung ginagawa niya, hindi niya magagawa yon. So, send a message first. Sir, this is so and so. I have the intention to call you later. May I ask for your vacant time. Mga ganyan. Tapos kung walang reply, huwag nyo nang pilitin na mag-send ng maraming messages. Malamang hindi niya talaga maharap. Okay? So, invasion of victims' privacy through cyberstalking and incessant messaging. So, hindi lang sarap, pwede sa classmate nyo. Recording or sharing any of the victim's photos, videos, information, or screenshot of private conversation without permission. So, bawal ding mag-share ng private messages without permission of the owner of that statement. Maliban na lang kung party ka ng case and that serves as evidence against that person. who stated a sexual comment on you, bastusin na comment, pwede. Pero kung i-share mo sa ibang tao na hindi wala ka nang balak mag-file ng case, that's a no-no. Impersonating victims' identities. So, especially mga instructors nyo ha, pagka may mannerism yung instructor nyo na gumaganyan-ganyan, o kaya in every time na magsalita meron kunwari sinasabing letter na ilang words na ilang beses niya sinasabi, tapos ang ginagawa nyo, tinatali-tali nyo kung ilang beses niyang nabanggit. Bawal yan ha. Impersonating victims' identities. Posting lies about victims to harm their reputation. Oh, you can be held liable. Anong kaso nyo? Pwedeng oral defamation, pwedeng cyber violation of anti-cyber law kasi yan pagka pinost nyo social media. Cyber libel naman, di ba? And filing false abuse reports to online platforms to silence victims will not be tolerated in this class and may be held liable under the Safe Spaces Act of or RA 11313. Yan. And anti-cybercrime law. Yan, 10175. So you can be held liable with RA 10175 din. So that's all for our syllabus, ladies and gentlemen. I will be sending you the link for our first lesson after this. Thank you and see you.